Hello and welcome to the second chapter of Quadratics, where the topic is solving quadratic equations. Now there are three different ways that we can solve quadratic equations. We can use factorization, we can use quadratic formula, or completing the square. The first method we're gonna use is factorization. We already met that method in chapter 1, and here it won't be any different. The only different thing is that our equation is set to 0. So we have a quadratic equation in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, which is equal 0. And what happens is that we factorize the left hand side, so that is this side, and we set each factor equal to 0 and solve to find the values of x. So we factorize this part, so minus 15 and minus 2, so that is 1, 15, 3, 5, that is minus 5 plus 3, so that is x plus 3, x minus 5 equal to 0. So now we set both of those equal to 0. So x plus 3 equals 0. And x minus 5 equals to 0. And therefore our result is x minus 3 or x equals to 5. So what we do first is we write our equation as normal with 0 next to it. We factorize the left or right side depending where our ax squared plus bx plus c is located, and then we set both of those to 0 because one of them has to be 0 for the thing to be 0. So if I had two numbers multiplied together to give 0, one of them has to be 0 or both of them have to be 0 to be true. So here we set them equal to 0, and what happens is that we solve those equations to give minus 3 and 5. Now we have the following expression where we have ax squared plus bx plus c already on the left hand side. So what we do is we factorize this side to get minus 30, so 6 times minus 5 is minus 30, and 13 on top, and that should be 15 minus 2. So we split this into 15x and minus 2x, just like we did in chapter 1, but here we're dealing with equals to 0 because we have to solve a quadratic. Now here we have 2x as a common factor, 3x as a common factor, so that will be 2x plus 5, and here we got minus 1 as a common factor, and that is 2x plus 5, and then those together give us 3x minus 1 and 2x plus 5 equals to 0. Now one of them has to be equal to 0 for the equation to be equal to 0, so it could be 3x minus 1 that is equal to 0, or it could be 2x plus 5 that is equal to 0. So we got here x equals a third, and here we got x equals minus 5 over 2. So why do we need to solve it like that? Well, if we got a graph of the 6x squared plus 13x minus 5, then the roots which we found here were solutions. They are sometimes called roots or solutions. They're called solutions of x because if we plot them on the graph, we can see that the graph goes through those points and that we have found where the roots are, and the roots are just points where the line crosses the x-axis. So that's why we need to know it, because in a few chapters we will learn how to draw those graphs using the y-intercept, minimum point, and all the other things. Now we got ax squared plus bx plus c on the left hand side, but it is not equal to 0. So what we have to do is to bring those two onto the left hand side. So minus 2 minus 3x is going to be x squared minus 8x plus 16 equal to 0. Now we factorize the left hand side, so 16 and minus 8. This will be one of those. So this could be 4 and 4. So minus 4 and minus 4. So x minus 4 and x minus 4 equals to 0. Now what we do is that we equal each factor to 0. So x minus 4 equals to 0 and x minus 4 is equal to 0. They'll both give the same answer of x equals 4. So x equals 4 is the root or solution of x squared minus 8x plus 16 equal to 0. Now to solve this equation, we need to expand the brackets first. So 2x minus 3 and 2x minus 3 equaling to 25. This will be multiplied together to give 4x squared minus 6x minus 6x plus 9 equal to 25, which is 4x squared minus 12x plus 9 equals 25. Now to make the left hand side be equal to 0, we have to negate that 25 from both sides. So that is 4x squared minus 12x minus 16 equal to 0. Multiply 4 by minus 16 because we need to factorize it. So that is minus 64. And we get minus 12 as well. Now we need to find the common factor. So that will be 16 minus 16 plus 4. So that will be 4x squared minus 16x plus 4x minus 16 equal to 0. So 4x is the common factor of 4x squared minus 16x, so that is x minus 4. And now we do the common factor here as well, which is 4, so x minus 4 in the bracket. And now this equals to 4x plus 4 and x minus 4 equal to 0. Now we equal them to 0, and then we have x equals to minus 4 over 4, which equals to minus 1. or x equals to 4, so 4. So the solutions or roots are -1 and 4. Now time for the exercise questions, and we only have 3 of those. So first of all, we need to make sure that our equation is in the form of factorizing expression equal to 0. So we need to get rid of that 30x from the other side. So that is 5x squared minus 30x equal to 0. Now what happens is that we factorize 5x squared and minus 30x with a common factor, and that is going to be 5x. And inside the brackets, x minus 6 equal to 0. Now we equal them both to be equal to 0, and x is equal to 0, or x is equal to 6. Now we got another expression where 4x squared plus 17x is equal to 6x minus 2x squared. We need the right side to be equal to 0, so we need to get rid of minus 6x and plus 2x squared. So what happens is that this side is 0, but this side is 6x squared plus 11x, and that's it. We have no numbers here, so the common factor is x, and x we equal to 0, and 6x plus 11 equal to 0, so x equals to 0, or x equals to minus 11 over 6. Now the question 4, where we have this shape has an area of 44 meters squared, find the value of x. So what we do is we divide that shape into two shapes, so that is x, that is x, that is x, x, and x plus 3. So we're going to multiply x by x plus 3 and add x times x to be equal to 44. Now x squared plus 3x is the expansion of x times x plus 3, and x squared is x times x, which is equal to 44. Now we add x squared together because they are like terms, so that's 2x squared plus 3x equals to 44. And now to get 0 on the right hand side, we need to minus the 44 from both sides, so 2x squared plus 3x minus 44 will equal to 0. Now we can factorize the following expression, so minus 44 or minus 88, because we got a greater than 1, so we have to multiply 2 by minus 44 to get minus 88, and we have 3. So that could be 11 and 8, because 11 minus 8 is 3, and 11 times minus 8 is minus 88. So now we write this here so that x is the common factor here to get 2x plus 11, and here the common factor is minus 4 to get 2x plus 11. So x minus 4 times 2x plus 11 is equal to 0. Now we have the two factors, and those factors will equal to 0. So what happens is we get x equals to 4, and x equals to minus 11 over 2. Now this is the value of x has to be positive because the length cannot be negative. So x is not equal to minus 11 over 2 because it is a negative number and the length cannot be negative. Therefore we have x equals 4 to be the right answer, and x equals to 4, so the length of x is 4. Now we can do exercise 2a using factorization.